I made this guy close to 30 years ago. Sculpted him out of Sculpey. He's the Royal Boolaroo, a character I designed inspired by the story Sky Island, written by L. Frank Baum. And after creating him, I wanted to bring him to life, see him move and talk. But back then, I had no way to do it, so he just sat on my desk. And he wasn't the only one. I developed a whole cast of characters for this story. In fact, I've had many characters and many of my own story ideas piling up over the years. And I've spent almost 3 decades chasing new technology that would allow me to bring the things I imagined to life. Each new breakthrough solved some old problems, but created new ones. There always seemed to be a missing piece of the puzzle. Until maybe now. I've been drawing since I was a kid. I loved it. I always knew I wanted to do something creative. I loved the Sunday comics. Growing up, the dream was to become a syndicated cartoonist. Calvin and Hobbes, Bloom County, they were huge influences, and I thought that would be a really cool job. Draw cartoons for a living and have them published and delivered to nearly every household across the country. In 1994, as a sophomore in college, I got my first cartoon published. It was a political cartoon in a local paper. Not the New York Times or anything, but seeing my work in print, that was really cool. Maybe I was on my way. But around that time, a new technology was emerging, the internet. And with it, the age of newspapers started dying. So my dream had to evolve or die with it. The dawn of digital tools was really taking off, so I put down the pencil and picked up a stylus. My first job out of college was creating digital art with Photoshop and Painter. I dove into illustration and character design, creating tons of cool characters. These new digital tools let me take my illustrations far beyond what had been possible with just pencil and paper. And around that same time, Toy Story was released, the first fully computer animated feature film ever made. A whole new era of possibilities had just begun. Now, I dreamed of seeing my work up there on the big screen, but animated films take teams of hundreds and budgets in the millions. And I didn't have that. I didn't even know 3D software yet. So I got some Sculpey, and I made some sculptures. They were crude, and I didn't really have much experience sculpting, but it was really cool to see those characters actually sitting there on my desk in 3D. I thought, maybe someday I'll be able to learn that 3D stuff, and maybe someday I'll get to see them moving. Another revolution was also happening in the movie industry as digital production was also moving into live action. George Lucas was leading the charge, shooting parts of Star Wars prequels on digital cameras, and eventually going fully digital with Attack of the Clones in 2002. This greatly reduced the cost of production, and the transition from analog film to digital video was underway. Now, I was working for a company that had one of those cameras, and I started getting some early work on low-budget live-action projects. Need a corpse for a sci-fi movie? Well, that sculpting came in handy. A sculpted head, some hands, strategic padding under a sheet, and there you go. Not exactly ILM quality, but for the limited resources available, it got the job done. I once created a set extension for an ice flow landscape using sugar, flour, and black poster board. There was no money to build the set, so it was just shot on a soundstage with the floor painted white and the walls painted green. The plan was to replace the green screen with the ice flow environment and enhance the white floor where needed to make it feel more like snow and ice. Well, at the time, I still didn't have any experience with 3D, but I still needed elements to composite in for those white floor shots. So I made this crude practical model that I could light and shoot from whatever angle I needed, and then comped it in with After Effects. Now, all these indie projects were a creative challenge, doing the best I could with limited resources, trying to create something and bring it to an audience. Those scrappy, resource-limited projects were building blocks. They honed my skills and my creativity, and over time, that hustle paid off. Eventually, I got my big break. In 2003, I landed a job in the lighting department at Blue Sky Studios. Now, I was still inexperienced in 3D and I had actually never lit a shot, so I started as a lighting technical assistant on robots, basically doing the busy work for the lighters. But I spent that time on robots learning everything I could. I stayed late every single night looking at shots and lighting files, trying to see how things worked and learn everything I possibly could. And everyone at Blue Sky was incredibly helpful, and I learned so much from them. They taught me so much, and I actually did get to light a few shots. By my second movie, Ice Age 2, I was a junior lighting TD, and I was lighting entire sequences by myself. Now, I would go on to work on 17 features at several major studios, Blue Sky, Sony, and Skydance. I lit shots on Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which won the Oscar. I lit shots on Over the Moon, which is nominated for an Oscar. I lit shots on the Ice Age movies. I had made it to the top. I was working for the big studios on feature films, and my work was up on the big screen for millions to see. This was the dream. The tools I used changed completely over those years, but the job was always the same. Help bring imaginary worlds to life and create something that would resonate with an audience. But I still wanted to tell my own stories. And so I never stopped searching for a way to make that possible. In 2014, while I was still at Blue Sky, affordable DSLR cameras were revolutionizing video and created an indie filmmaking explosion by delivering full HD video recorded on full-frame sensors with high-quality photographic lenses. Now you didn't have to be George Lucas to shoot cinematic quality digital video. So I got a Canon T3i and made my first serious attempt at creating a short film based on the popular game DayZ. All the actors and crew were friends from Blue Sky who all had the same passion for storytelling, and when it was done, I posted it to YouTube, to this very channel, my first video, and it started generating massive views. It now sits at over 600,000 views. By no means the most performant video out there, but not bad for my first video. But the reality of independent filmmaking hit hard. Locations, props, costumes, even with passionate friends helping out for free, the logistical problems of live action was just too much, and you were still limited by the sets, props, costumes, and actors that you could acquire. Managing live action shoots is very complicated. It was all just too demanding and too expensive at the time, especially since I already had a very demanding full-time job. But the next year, Epic released their A Boy and His Kite demo for Unreal Engine, and that was a game changer. Using a game engine to create animation, real-time rendering, no render farms, no waiting hours for a single frame. Now, that was exciting. I remember showing it to the people at work. Hey, have you seen this? This is incredible. And they just looked at me like, yeah, okay. I mean, sure, it wasn't anywhere near the quality we were producing at the studio level, but I wasn't looking at where it was. I was looking at where it was going. I was looking at the potential. So I spent nights and weekends diving into Unreal, trying to learn all I could. I had never used a game engine before. It opened up tons of new possibilities. Real-time rendering, total digital control, marketplaces with pre-built assets meant you could quickly build nearly any kind of environment or set you wanted. Eventually, metahumans entered the scene, which was a groundbreaking and free character creation technology. Metahumans have made great strides forward since they were introduced, and the Unreal workflow was showing real promise. I made some real progress towards bringing these stories to life, the most ever, I would say.
Here we are on the bridge of the hashtag, where I, Ignatius Quark, will assume command.
But any CG process comes with a lot of technical challenges. Sure, I had plenty of experience lighting, but I would also need to learn modeling, texturing, rigging, layout, animation, cloth and hair simulation, effects. Still a massive undertaking for one person. Having to do all these jobs is not only difficult because you lack the time, but because you often lack the skill. There's a reason why people specialize in these things. So progress was very, very, very slow. Without the help of a team or funding, I began to hit a wall. Now, AI is promising to remove almost all the barriers. No expensive gear, no cruiser locations, no steep learning curves or the need to learn dozens of additional disciplines, just ideas and execution. The ability to tell the AI what I want and get it, theoretically. But is it really the solution I've been looking for all these years? Or, like before, will it introduce a whole new set of hidden obstacles? Is this the future of filmmaking? Or just a lot of hype? Now, I've learned that every new tool usually comes with new problems, and I think AI is no exception. But much the same way I saw people dismissing Unreal a decade ago, I see a lot of people criticizing AI for its current limitations, where it is now, not where it's going. This technology is advancing faster than anything I've ever seen. I'm honestly not even sure where it's going because I have no idea what the upper bounds of this tool is or how long it will take to get there. So I'm not here to hype this up or to tear it down because I really don't know. I'm here to find out. But I have chased this dream through every technological revolution for the past 30 years, and each time thinking that maybe this is it. And each time progress is made, but then eventually I hit another wall. But now something feels different. And maybe this guy, after 30 years, maybe the wait is finally over.
Rain's passed for the day. Don't think you'll be needing that umbrella.
It's a magic umbrella. It will take you anywhere you want to go.
Oh, well then, where should we go?
Let's go to Sky Island. Okay. Sky Island is back there. Where's it taking us?
We be sailing among the clouds. Wow! Mackerel and herrings! It's a floating island! Land ho!
Let's explore. Okay.
Don't get too far ahead. Better get after him. No telling what beyond this Sky Island.
What are you doing in my kingdom? I am the royal Booloo-Roo. You are trespassers in my kingdom. Guards, seize them. I want that umbrella.
Some of you may have found this channel through that DayZ short or through some of the Unreal Engine projects I posted under Amulet Studios. This channel has been dormant for a while, but now it's getting a new purpose. I'm reinventing it around a single mission, documenting what happens when someone with 20 years of professional experience in the animated film industry picks up these new AI tools and tries to do what I've always wanted to do, tell my own stories. Now, I'm definitely not abandoning my career. I'd like to think that I haven't closed that chapter of my creative journey because working at the studio level with those talented teams has led to years of fulfillment and lifelong friendships. But the industry is in rough shape right now, and a lot of incredibly talented people are out of work, myself included. So while the industry rights itself and I figure out what's next, I'm going to keep following that old dream and see what's possible with these new tools. The prior test was just a start. I plan on doing a lot more, and I'll share my workflows, what works and what doesn't. So if you're interested in following me on this journey, then stick around. Like and subscribe and all that stuff. And let's see where this goes.